Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. As you can see, I'm pretty sure you won't be aware, there's been a fair few advancements recently. So, yeah, obviously today, apparently, Wolves are interested in Julian Rierson. If you haven't seen that video, it's on my channel now as well. You can check it out. My thoughts on him as a player, my thoughts on the deal itself, the fee as well, and why I think it's a very strange signing. Or a very strange link, but also why I think he is linked as well. We should be live. Welcome in. But yeah, as I've said, the Rierson stuff is very interesting for numerous reasons, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Good evening. Good evening, Neil. Hope you're well. Good evening to you. Good evening to Josh. Order bro. Arias over Vert. Yes, Jaden, welcome in this evening. Hope you're doing well. As you can see, the graphics have slightly changed as well. We've got a different bit of news on here as well. As you can see there, Julian Rierson is currently linked. If you haven't checked that video out, like I say, it is live on my channel right now. So feel free to check it out. I think it's a bit of a mad one, but yeah. I do a lot of content on Liverpool, Josh. If you look back at my channel, there's a hell of a lot of content on Liverpool. But again, Liverpool's not something that the market is very populated with Liverpool creators, and all the ones that I'm good mates with are absolutely massive in the space. And you know, ultimately, like the chance of growing into their sort of to their level is extremely unlikely, really. And people don't really have much gravitas. Also, if you're not a scouser, really, I don't think my opinion feels as valid as some. So again, you know, that's sort of a yeah. Do you think the Rierson link means Sanchez is off, or just the club assessing all options? The reports might be for inquiries maybe before Sanchez link got serious. Yeah, Jack, this is exactly what I think is happening. I think you've hit the nail on the head, mate. Pretty much what I said in my video, mate. To be honest, I very much feel the same as you. I think he would have been definitely a player Wolves were admiring or monitoring before the Sanchez stuff. And obviously, there's still a lot of uncertainty around the Sanchez stuff as well. We mustn't forget that. It seems to be progressing, but then when you look at the Napoli stuff, Napoli apparently still aren't out of the race, really, mate. So yeah, it's interesting. Always good to see a live stream. Thanks, Neil, mate. Appreciate that. Sanchez seems to be progressing. Yeah, as I briefly touched on, Neil, really. Josh, that is absolutely not the case, no, mate, but fair play. How many players do you reckon in total will be on the wing-back shortlist? I mean, these days, clubs have a shortlist as long as my arm per position, to be honest. But generally, I'd imagine around 5 or 6, you know, serious options. Ultimately, I think that Rierson is just one of them options, really. Your videos and commentary have been great. I know you talk about other teams' topics, but can I ask you what your inspiration is for you to discuss Wolves? Yeah, so essentially, like I say, a lot of family are Wolves, friends are Wolves, grew up around Wolves, been going to Wolves games for years, and you know, probably know more about the history of Wolves than a lot of Wolves fans, to be fair, in recent time. But yeah, so just well clued up on the club, really, mate. And I think people like my videos because I am that sort of neutral. Do you know what I mean? I don't have because like you lot, I've got an emotional attachment to Wolves. So for you will see things different to me. You will see things different to me. Because you're emotionally attached to it and you've got passion towards it. Whereas with me, I've just got passion for creating content. So I don't have I don't swing either way. I can look at things objectively, which a lot, Wolves fans can't ultimately because emotion and bias is always going to play a part. So, I think that's why people like it, really. Yeah, see, Neil, that's just not right, mate. Like, I know I've said that I'm definitely welcoming the circle of Liverpool fans, mate, 100%. I'm good friends with a lot of Liverpool fans, especially the biggest ones, some of the biggest creators on YouTube. I've done interviews with Chris from Redmen TV and, spoke to them regularly, spoke to a lot of the Redmen TV lads. So that's not the case. It's just in terms of in that circle, the competition's absolutely massive. And yeah, it's just a really tough one, really. I do support Liverpool, Jaden, mate. Once the midfield link, we need a backup. Yeah, the midfield's an interesting one because who's going to want to come in and be a backup? You've got to find the right. You're not going to get someone like 22 years old who wants to be a backup. So you've got to get the right age. It's got to be like 27, 28, 29, maybe even plus 30 plus. But then you don't want that really for when one of Andre or Joao Gomez leaves. But ultimately, yeah, you've got to find someone who's happy to do that role is the tough part. Any English options you think we would target for wing back? I mean, Kyle Walker-Peters, I said about 4 months ago on this channel, would have been an unbelievable deal. Made complete sense. Homegrown, can play both positions, wing backs, both off the left and the right, really well. But again, he's ended up at West Ham, so that's the frustrating thing, really. I like Cozier Dubry as well, but again, you're very young. That's the issue. So there's players I like in those positions, but either they're too young or there's homegrown players I like in those positions, but either they're too young or I don't think they're the level. Really. So if Wolves are losing, the fan sites are in meltdown. Yeah, it's a very toxic place, social media, when Wolves lose a game or are losing the game. It's the same for a lot of fan bases, but you know, the Wolves one tends to be head loss like you've never seen. Being tight and not paying Kyle Walker-Peters' wages. I reckon Joao Gomez has one more season. What do you mean, this season? Or do you mean a season after this season? Let me know what you think. I think this season, or I think the next 18 months be really telling. I just don't see how a player of his quality can stick around if Wolves don't end up finishing in a relatively, significantly improved spot on last season. Jean-Marc Bellegar, Jorgen Larson, Arias, Wolfer, Gomez, Andre Lima, Totti, Agbadou, Doherty, Sarr. Is that your opening day prediction for the game, is it? Yeah. Is that your prediction for the opening day? Nah, this season. Yeah, I think so as well, Josh. As sad as it is, really. Guedes gone official. Yes, I believe that's just popped up on X for me, actually. Let's just have a gander if it is confirmed by Sociedad, but I believe it is, yeah. I believe it is. Let's have a look. Yes, there we go. 1 minute ago. If you can't see that, there he is. Yeah, so that's your starting. And get your starting 11 predictions in as well. Get them in the comments for the first game of the season. This is Order Bros one as well. Joao Gomez will go nowhere as long as Wolves are in the Premier League. Neil, I completely would love to see that happen, mate. But that is extremely unlikely, unfortunately. He could play in the Champions League quite comfortably currently. So, yeah, I think that's unrealistic, really. I was optimistic, though. I don't mind a bit of optimism. Andre and Gomez defo gone next, some of their City Liverpool level. Yeah, I think they are in and around that level. Yeah, I wouldn't say they're necessarily Liverpool or City level, maybe, but they're definitely Champions League football level, 100%. 100%. Lehman will not play wing back. Not for Wolves, he won't, I don't believe, no. There we go. Lehman will not play wing back. I don't believe so either. I think he'll be on loan, mate. Can Sanchez defend, pal? Don't know much about him. Yeah, he can. He's just better offensively than he is defensively. He can defend. He's 6 foot. He's relatively strong. He's relatively built. He's quick as well. But yeah, he's not. It's not his best attribute, put it that way. But these days, most wing backs, weirdly, their best attribute isn't to defend. Do you know what I mean? I'd actually say there's not one player in that Wolves side whose best trait as a wing back is to defend. So make of that what you will, I suppose. I think Arias have a better output than Verts' seat. That is such rage bait. I'm not even doing it. I'm not even doing it. I'll put it on the screen for one more second, but I'm not doing it. I think Arias will really stand out for Wolves next season. Yeah, I think he'll be brilliant, mate. I don't think he'll be the standout because I think there's a lot of good players at Wolves. I think Agbadou will have a really good season next year, although he's looked a bit shaky in pre-season, but I suppose they all have. Joao Gomez has been by far the best player this pre-season for me. I think he's been absolutely outrageous to watch. I think he's been brilliant. he's just one of them players, isn't he? He can do it all. He can defend, he can tackle, he can get on the ball, he can beat a man. I mean, he can glide past players. Like, for a player that you looking at him, you probably wouldn't expect. I mean, I know he's not massively tall, but in terms of just as a profile, I don't think you'd expect him to be as agile and gliding the way he does. But yeah, Joao Gomez is an absolute joke. His level is, I mean, his ceiling is just ridiculous, isn't it? I don't think there will be protests, Neil, to be honest, mate. We haven't seen any protests really yet, have we? We've only seen a few every now and then. But not anything really that serious towards Fosun, really. So yeah, I doubt that would be the case. Just don't fancy him leaving Doc 1v1 most games. No, exactly. But the thing is, though, Marcus, is I think Mosquera will come in probably 3 games into the season, I want to say. Because obviously he got 25 yesterday. I think he'll come in around 2nd or 3rd game of the season. So Doc won't be there for that long. I remember we were in for Evan Guess on at one point, but that seemed to fall off. Is there any chance of that happening? I think he's gone to Palace, mate, or agreed something with Palace. I did see on Twitter earlier. Looks more likely that he'll go to Palace more than anything now. So I think that one's off anyway. I think that's been off for a few weeks. Same with the Adley stuff. That just felt very, short-lived, didn't it? Neves on a free, hopefully next year to replace Gomez. Yeah, I'm sure Ruben's going to come off them huge wages, isn't he? I'd love to see it. As I said, I'd absolutely love to see Neves back at the Wolves, but yeah, them wages are fat. How many goals do you think John Larson will get in the Premier League? I'm going to go 7. I said 16 the other day, so I'm going to stick with that. I'll go 16 in the league, 20 all comps. That's my guess. Great insight as always. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. But we're just like Southampton, great breeds of talent and sell. Ultimately, though, that's the sad. Like I was saying the other day, that's the way that folks want to run the club, isn't it? It is sustainable. It definitely is sustainable. It's sustainable for as long as it has been currently. Whether it's been that whether that continues is another case. But yes, Josh, mate, how are we? How are we, mate? I'd love to get Conor Bradley on loan. Doak looks up. Yeah, Doak's top, man. Doak will get a top move. Doak will either get a top move this summer or be around the Liverpool squad and sign and extend his contract. Doak will, if Doak goes somewhere, he'll be a comfortable Premier League winger for the rest of his career easily. Really, really good. I like Doak a lot. And Conor Bradley on loan is just never happening, is it? He'll be Liverpool's starting fullback next season. I mean, he actually won't technically because he's already out of the Community Shield next week. Well, on Sunday, he's already out of the Community Shield for an injury again. Conor Bradley just can't stay fit. Ultimately, he's a really, really good player, but he struggles with his fitness a lot more than I think people realise. And obviously, I mean, oh no, Conor Bradley's out. Jeremy Frimpong will have to play. I mean, it's the worst players to have off the bench to play, isn't there? Crikey. What about a new striker, Yuri Alberto? He fractured his spine, mate, so he won't be anywhere near coming to Wolves. Not now, anyway. He was at one point, but no, he's fractured his lumbar, I believe. Fractured his lumbar. I'm pretty sure that knowledge is correct. I think it is. I hope it is. I do hope it is. Also, if you are in here, there's 59 people. I think that's our highest. I think that's our peak today so far. So I'd appreciate it if you'd share it on Twitter, share it with your mates maybe, if you are a Wolves fan or just a football fan in general. Put anything in the chat. We speak about all football here. And I'd love to interact with all of you. Like I say, it's really great to speak to you all. And if you are in and you're not subscribed as well, we're 20 subscribers away from 1.7k. So feel free to subscribe as well. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. All you got to do is click the little button. And turn notifications on if you want to be notified when I post as well. Is there any other self-sustaining teams in the Prem? Because it's going to get hard for Wolves given the competition in the Prem. Loads of clubs are self-sustaining, even on a different scale, Charlie. Liverpool have been the same for years. Liverpool have always been sell to buy, mate. So on any scale of the Premier League, there's clubs doing exactly the same thing, mate. Like Palace will do similar with Eze and Guedes, I'd imagine. They'll probably lose them in the next 12 to 18 months. And they'll find 2 players, to replace them. It's always been a thing. It's just always been a thing that most clubs have done. It's not a Fosun thing necessarily. Like clubs have always sold their best players and replaced them. I mean, most of the time, sometimes it's been cases where clubs haven't replaced them, obviously, but more often than not these days, clubs do replace them relatively well because there's so much data these days to go off, really, and most players live up to that standard, really, or improve as well. Yuri Alberto's back fit, but signed a new contract recently. Yeah, I don't think he'd leave anyway. Will City compete with Liverpool this season? Not for me personally, but that's just because I don't think anyone will. But I think if anyone's going to, I think City will be closer. Had a chat today with someone in the know. Apparently, Sanchez fee increased due to reluctance from the player. 20 million euros and pretty high wages, I've heard, but should be happening this week. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that, to be honest. It's clear he wanted to go to Napoli, and who wouldn't really, if we're being polite. But equally, yeah, again, the fee's going to go up because of that. Of course it is. But yeah, I still think 20 mils. I mean, what's that? 17 million quid. It's not the worst deal in the world, is it? It's shopping in that right market, I think. Anywhere between sort of 10 to 20 mil is a good market for players. I mean, Arias was an absolute steal, based off ability and price. So I think Wolves should be shopping in that sort of 10 to 20 million market, really, for a lot of it. It's where some of the best players have come. Obviously, Andre was a bit more than that. Joao Gomez was in that sort of ballpark as well. So yeah, I think that's the right sort of market for Wolves to be shopping in. Obviously, Wolfer's just about in that market as well. Where do you think Wolves will finish this season? I keep getting asked this question, and it's a really tough one, Ben, because currently I think about 15th or 16th. If they bring in all the players they need, all the positions they need to address, I think Wolves will be 12th, 13th, something like that. Maybe higher, but I think around there. Guedes is one of the highest earners. Yeah, Guedes is on 90 grand a week, mate. The Premiership supercomputer reckons Wolves finish the 25-26 season just 1 point above the 3 relegated teams. Where do you think we'll end up? I don't think it'll be anywhere near that close, Brian, mate. As I briefly just touched on, it won't be anywhere near that, in my opinion. Evening, Connor, busy guy. Yes, mate, I am very busy. I've been at work today. First day in a new job. Completed it, mate. Really enjoyed it today. So started a new job. So the uploads from now on, instead of being 2 in the day, it will be 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. But it seems to be doing well. And also, we'll do a live in the evening, some evenings as well, as we're doing now. We've already uploaded and we're doing a live stream. So it depends what's on demand, really. If people want to see it, people will get it. Do you know what I mean? Buying a highly rated Spanish talent is very hard to come by. Hopefully he develops into a nice, versatile player. Yeah, exactly, Joshy. Exactly. What on earth is going on here, then? Joshy? Josh, what are we doing here, lad? Thank you very much, mate. What on earth is going on? Have you just paid £5 to say keep it up? Sorry. Thank you. I don't know how to react to that, if I'm being completely honest. To some people, that might not be unbelievable, but that is like, what on earth is going on? I just can't believe that. Thank you, mate. Honestly, that means a hell of a lot. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos, mate. But for anyone who thinks that that's absolutely nuts, I completely agree with you. Thank you so much, mate. The fact you even want to support me is ludicrous in the first place. But the fact you support me, like, you know, you've actually financially paid for just to see me is absolutely ridiculous. Thank you so much, Josh, mate. Honestly, that's ludicrous. As you can see, I'm quite flustered, and I think you've ruined the live, actually, mate. To be honest, I'm only joking, but seriously, mate, I don't know what to say, but other than thank you. Wow, Jesus. I mean, the subscribing was enough, mate. Liking the videos is enough. Commenting on the odd video is enough, mate. Like, you really don't have to pay for my content. Like, mate, honestly, I'm nearly crying here. I am. Jesus Christ. Thank you, mate. I don't know how to react. Thank you, mate. Honestly, caring the community, Adrian. You are spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. Wow. Could you see Fulham selling up if we got relegated? Could you see Fosun selling up if we got relegated? Could you see them selling? I think if Wolves get relegated, they'll sell. Yeah, I think they'll cut the ties, mate. Yeah, I think they'll be forced to as well. We like the content you do, mate. Thank you, Carl. I mean, you can enjoy the content, but just like the video, man. You don't have to pay me money. Like, crikey. Thank you so much, mate. Honestly, that means the world. Seriously. It's like when Speed got his first donation. If I could get 10% as big as Speed, mate, I'll be absolutely buzzing. Wolves will not be relegated, but Fosun might sell up. Fosun might sell up one day. I doubt it, though. Yes, Kian, mate, how are we? Good evening to you. Do you ever sleep? I do, yes. Not much, but I do sleep. I'm not sleeping tonight after Josh's donation. Jesus. I think it's testament to the work you do, Connor. You'll go far with this channel. Thank you, George, mate. I really appreciate that. I just can't believe it, man. You lot are just ridiculous. You lot are just absolutely ridiculous. I think we can edit the live here. I don't really know what's going on, but we'll just... I don't really know what we're doing. We're just going to leave that. We're just not going to touch that, all right? We're just going to not experiment yet. No timeouts on here. Do you think we'll keep Yorkshire and Larson, or if a big bid comes in, do you think we'll sell? Good question. I think anything over 65 Wolves will sell. And arguably, as much as I love Strand Larson, I think they should. And that sounds mad. But, yeah. Fosun will sell anyway, I reckon. At some point, maybe, yeah, surely. Do you think there's any chance Wolves going for both? Hang on. Is there any chance Wolves going for both right wing backs, as both can play multiple positions? There is a chance. I just think it's very slim, Brandon, personally. But yeah, I think there is a slight chance. Didn't Fosun buy back a load of shares and people thought they were going to go? Yeah, I think they did. I believe they did, mate. Yes. Yes, it would. Hang on. Did you enjoy Fantastic Four? A non-football question. Love it. Yeah, absolutely loved it, mate. Unbelievable. For anyone who hasn't watched it, I mean, anyone who probably knows me knows I'm a massive nerd, massive Marvel nerd, mate. Massive nerd in general. Football, Marvel, wrestling, mate. Boxing, UFC, mate. Anything like that. Yeah, Fantastic Four was unbelievable. Marvel is back. I hope Marvel's back. I really do. Okay, Connor, who do you think is a key target achievable for Wolves as a 9? Ooh, that is a tough question. I don't know, which is not a good answer. I'm well aware. It's also, you've got to think of like players, haven't you? I'm not watching the Liverpool game right now. No, mate, because I'm not paying for it because I'm tight. All right. I'd like to see Wolves go for Rodrigo Muniz, to be honest, but I know he's expensive, massively expensive. I think we need to sell strikers, buy strikers, not sell them, to be honest. Yeah, you need to sell at least one or two more, though, Sean. I think two of them aren't really that good enough. Aren't really good enough. Do you reckon Bajcetic from Liverpool and one from Bayern will be dream loan? Mate, Bajcetic from Liverpool would be really good, but again, he needs to go somewhere and play games, and he's not going to get that at Wolves in that midfield, I think, unfortunately. Do you think Sunderland will stay up? I'd like Sunderland to stay up. Big club, good fan base, really impressive window. But ultimately, no, I don't think so, unfortunately. Fantastic Four was brilliant, but after seeing Superman, just felt a bit underwhelming. Sure, I'll watch it again, have a way better reaction. Yeah, I think if you watch them close together, definitely. Superman's meant to be unbelievable, and I really want to watch it. DC's just put me off in the last few years, but I say that my favourite film of all time is a DC film. But yeah, DC's put me off recently, but it's meant to be an unbelievable film. My family said it's amazing, so I'm definitely watching it 100%. I love Superman. And they haven't done him justice in any of the recent films either. So, yeah, definitely want to watch that. Marvel never went away. They did, man. Since Endgame, there's not been that many good Marvel films. I mean, I loved Deadpool and Wolverine because I love Wolverine and I love Deadpool. All right. But it's not as simple as that. I just love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But, yeah, for me, the films in between Endgame weren't really that great. 3X Live, come up with one. I will do, mate. Yeah, definitely. Lima will be our number one wing back in a few seasons. Maybe, yeah. Rodrigo, is he not at Bayern? No, what about Rodrigo Muniz, mate, from Fulham? I'm a massive movie fan too, Connor. Love that. Kyle George from Cruzeiro will be insane. Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's 23 as well. He's absolutely ridiculous. 23 years old. So talented, mate. Do you think, could you do an overlap kind of podcast with Harry, Daz and Dave and the lad you had the other day, better than Nev and Cara? I'm definitely going to get Harry on the channel. Dave, I haven't really had much with Dave. I haven't really spoke to Dave. Spoke to Dave a few years ago for a uni project type thing, but I haven't spoke to Daz and Dave in 3 years. So I don't know about Dave, but Dave has a party 100%. Harry, yeah, they'll come back on the channel at some point, so I'm sure. What's your favourite Wolves player of all time? For me, this is going to sound mad. All right. I'm well aware. He's not the best player to have ever played for Wolves. I'm well aware of that. Okay. Just so you know, he's not the best. He's also by no means the worst. For me, when I was a kid, Stephen Fletcher, mate, I'm telling you, when I was a kid, I used to love Stephen Fletcher. I don't know what it was. I think it was that majestic beard. But yeah, for me, when I was a kid growing up, one of the first Wolves sides I remember, is the Stephen Fletcher side. So for me, yeah, Stephen Fletcher was one of them. The best I've seen live though was Ruben Neves, I think, or Jota, really. But Ruben Neves just a joke. João Moutinho was an absolute joke as well. Most people from that sort of 2018 to 2020 period, really. I think Leeds have got a good chance. Yeah, they signed very physical players, aren't they? The club lose so much money in resale. Shocking. Yeah, the Guedes stuff's weird. They were never going to get much for him, though. 100% not. What movie are you looking forward to most in the winter/autumn time? Avatar, Fire and Ash. Kean, mate. Oh, you're not seen Avatar? You're not seen Avatar? Yeah, Avatar, man. What an unbelievable few films. And that third one, it's going to be unbelievable. Do you reckon certain players will also switch positions if they're not suited to ones they're in? Like who, Carl? Give me an example, mate. Robbie Keane. Is that your favourite player of all time? Yeah, my granddad loved Robbie Keane. My granddad had a season ticket for bloody, how many years? 40? No, 30, 35, 40. Something like that. Stopped going last few years, really. But, well, I say last few years, really since I've been alive. But, yeah, he still goes to every now and then with me and stuff. But, yeah. Guessing your favourite film is The Dark Knight, then? Yes, mate, it is indeed. Oh, my God. What a film. Harry and Dave Azzopardi are top fan. Yeah, talking Wolves and Harry Mansell, mate. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And they're lovely lads as well. Absolutely lovely lads. Salt of the earth lads. Stephen Hunt was a baller, apart from when he kicked Petr Cech in the head for Reading. Yeah, apart from that. Met Stephen Fletcher once after a Wolves game. Are you across Wolves fan? Did Nuno make you fall in love? No, mate. I liked Wolves before Nuno, so that's not even the case, mate. I went to Wolves games when they were in League One, mate. Do you know what I mean? So... Dicko-ophobe Sacco, mate. I'm telling you, that's the real front three. None of this bloody modern day stuff. Get those three in. Get Razak Bukhari in there and all. Thoughts on us replacing Guedes and Fab with one bigger player? I think it's all right, Josh, isn't it, mate? What do you think? I think that can go of Guedes and Fabio Silva's sound for an arguably, a relatively decent stock statement. Not statement, but a player in and around that 20 to 25 mil range up front, really. But I don't think they'll go in that high. But yeah, Carl Henry, crikey, he's a lovely bloke. I've met Carl Henry. He's a lovely bloke, really nice bloke. Do you reckon Silva will extend and go on loan to Roma? It's looking likely. Go on YouTube. Yeah, go on YouTube and she'll see. Go on YouTube and she'll see. She can go on YouTube though. It's all right. The family are what? I don't know what I'm doing, talking to a screen in the evening, and I sometimes wonder that as well. Kenny Jacket, top manager. Henry the Crab. We have Larson up top 6-3. Not one cross came in for him. It was all low crosses. But equally, I've said it's key for a wing back to build a relationship with a number 9. So I'm not getting on to Herver as much as everyone else is, because in those advanced wing back positions, you need to build a relationship with the number 9. And in the last few years, especially at Stoke, a lot of his deliveries were across the ground to those players. So yeah, Johnson and Fab are the only outgoings I see us making out. I still think there's money in the chest for us to make a decent 30 mil signing with their outgoings. I completely agree, Josh, mate. I think you are spot on. I think that's one of the most spot on comments we've seen today, to be honest, mate. Who was the worst then? Who's the worst I've seen in my lifetime? Oh, do you know what? I don't know. Oh, what a question. In my lifetime. Oh, that's a really good question. Because the thing is, it probably will be a player from the League One team, but I don't want to do that because it's too obvious because they were statistically one of the worst. Do you know who's never really... Do you know who's... Yeah, I was going to say O'Hara was one of them. Do you know who's never really sort of bothered me? I know that might sound mad, but like... Do you know, I never really liked Roderick Miranda. I know that sounds mad. The relegator, Roger Johnson, the relegator. Looking forward to seeing the sequel of the Wicked movie, to be fair. Yeah, same, Kean, mate. Mate, this first one was unbelievable. I don't care what people say, mate. Yeah, Jamie O'Hara's just not the most likeable guy, is he? Roderick Miranda was one of the maddest ones, wasn't he? He wasn't necessarily a terrible footballer, but just didn't play enough, did he? Sagbo, mate. Probably Yannick Sagbo, maybe. Grant Holt wasn't great, actually. Danny Graham wasn't great either. Yeah, there's a few, there's a long list, isn't there? Roger Johnson, the relegator. Henri Camara, yeah, good shout. Bonatini. Nah, do you know what? Bonatini for that 12-game run. I'm not having it, mate. That 12-game run, Bonatini looked like prime R9, mate. Such a mad purple patch that was. Crikey. I think he missed a pen. Did he miss a pen at City in that season in the Cup as well? He did. I'm certain he did. Yeah, he definitely did. No, he definitely did. Solbakken, yeah. No, he definitely did. Bonatini, mate, for that 12-game pit. Was it after Blues he didn't score again, or he scored one throughout the rest of the season? After that Blues game, who's the most underrated Wolves player? I'd say Ryan Bennett. For me, because of people who aren't Wolves fans, I would go Barry Douglas in the Championship season, mate. Barry Douglas was a joke in that Championship season. My God. People outside of Wolves don't really give Barry Douglas his flowers, do they? But John Daddy Bodvarsson was elite. He was, mate. Sigurd Arsson as well. Paul Gladden should have had a statue. Love your channel, mate. Thank you, Pit Wars, mate. Appreciate that a hell of a lot, mate. Are you subscribed is the question, because if you're not, I'd appreciate that as well. I think we're about 14 subscribers away from 1.7k. So if you could subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, the Douglas stuff when he came to the Prem was mad, but obviously Johnny was unbelievable as well, wasn't he? So it was the right decision in the end, because Johnny was a joke, but yeah, he was a joke. Any news on the Adley deal? No, mate. The Adley deal's just dead in the water, in my opinion. I think that's done now. Personally, loved him. Yeah, Barry Douglas was brilliant, man. Brilliant money. You watch Stranger Things. Do you know what? This is going to be controversial. My partner loves Stranger Things. I don't get it. That's going to be mad. Every episode feels like a film. And I don't mind it when it's like Peaky Blinders. I don't mind it. But for some reason, Stranger Things just doesn't do it for me. And I know people are going to hate me here. I'm well aware. But for me, yes, I was. This was a photo from my seat from the Liverpool game that Harvey Elliott scored in the FA Cup. This was my photo in the Wolves end. Shoot me. All right. Sorry. Probably not going to happen again now. I might get battered if we go in the Wolves end now. Oh, what are we going to do? Yeah, he was, yeah. Prediction in the league, I've said about 15th, 16th at the moment, unless they get weird, unless they get the players in the need. I think about 13th if they do, though. Your Wolves content is incredible, lad. So consistent. You're a top guy to have in the Wolves community. Look forward to seeing our content throughout the season. Cheers, Kean, mate. Yeah, we'll get fans of every club on throughout the season. Might do previews and stuff. And obviously, we still post content that isn't Wolves related, of course, because people get on to me. I've had a lot of nasty comments recently, but, we move. People don't like that I'm not a Wolves fan. People think I'm using Wolves for views, which literally couldn't be further from the truth, is the fact that I've actually probably watched Wolves longer than a lot of Wolves fans. To be honest, especially the ones that came in when the Premier League, when they went up to the Premier League and everyone got their season tickets. I'll get my season ticket. I've been watching Wolves in the Championship. I've watched about 4 games, but it's okay. We'll ignore them people because I like everyone else. Poor take, mate. It's elite. Yeah, for me, I just don't know. See, I love Peaky. For me, Peaky, Breaking Bad, they're my type of Better Call Saul. They're my type of They're my type of shows, man. And Breaking Bad is long. It is long, but I've watched that thing all the way through. Could tell you the words backwards for the whole show, probably. Yeah, love Peaky and Breaking Bad, man. They're my type of series. I do remember Josh, unfortunately, mate. That was one of our worst seasons ever as well. We were absolute hot. What's the word? Poo-poo. Hot poo-poo that game. Sorry to anyone who's had to sit through that. Haters let them hate. Yes, mate. It's what happens, isn't it? It's what happens, I suppose. You got to deal with it if you're going to put your face on social, aren't you? So, movie so much better than series, in my opinion. Agree with that. Heavy, mate. If Vitor left of him not being happy, who would you like as manager? Who do you think would take the job? Crikey, that is a tough question. That is a really tough one. Who would I like in charge? This is going to be really controversial. Do not shoot me down whatsoever. And he won't leave his current club, so don't worry about it. Former West Bromwich Albion manager Carlos Corberán, mate, I am telling you, I have no disrespect whether he played for the Albion or not. He's an unbelievable gaffer, and I've been flying the flag for him for ages. It would have been Marty Cifuentes, but he's at Leicester now. I'm telling you, man, master tactician. But you'd probably all moan about how boring his football is, but it gets results. It gets results. Yeah, Breaking Bad, top like Sopranos, yeah, top, mate. My two daughters' named Shelby and Ada from the Peak. That is sick. That is really cool. I like that. Legend killer. That is really cool. I love that. That's really cool, mate. That is really cool. That is a sick comment. Vitor will not go. I agree. We don't want to lose VP merry-go-round. You're spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. I still can't believe that. I just can't believe that. I don't know if you're still in here, Josh, mate, but I actually can't believe that. I've just seen it pop up again on like the starred comments thing. Absolutely ludicrous. Oh, Owen, here we go. What a man. What a man. Not having Carlos Corberán, but if Vitor leaves, we have to get Brian Mason or Tony Mowbray. I bet you can't tell who Owen here supports. What a man. What a wonderful bloke. Oh, that's funny. What level would you say Dan Bentley could start regularly for? Mid-table championship, lower end. Lower end champ for me, Bentley. Lower end champ for me. Funny explaining it to goes, and then after 1920 gangsters. That's true, yeah. Who'd rather have at Liverpool, Gravenberch or Andre? Obviously Gravenberch, mate. Like, I love Andre. I think he's great. But for Liverpool, the way Liverpool play, Andre's just doing absolutely nothing that Gravenberch can do. And vice versa. I mean, not vice versa, really, but Gravenberch, Andre's a destroyer. Gravenberch is a deep line playmaker. Gravenberch is a ball progressor. Gravenberch is a silky footballer. And that's just, not what Andre is. They're completely different players. Play the six completely differently. The same way that, like, N'Golo Kante would play the six differently to Gravenberch, for example. Like, they're just, completely different players. There's so many ways that you can play the six. And Andre plays it as a more traditional way. Like, for example, it's like Kante and Fabinho, completely different. They play the six completely differently. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Thoughts on Morecambe? It's awful, man. I was going to do a video on it, but people will think I'm capitalising on it or something. I'll probably moan about it, but no one's like Sky Sports aren't talking about it. That's the issue. Like, I'm seeing like Dara O'Shea get the bloody microphone in front of him, talk about him being Ipswich captain on the news today, and I'm like, how is that bigger news than what's happening at Morecambe? I just don't understand it. It's weird. Would you take? Oh, come on! What are we doing here? Look at this. Look at the state of this. For goodness sake. Would you take Brock Lesnar at centre half? Not sure he's quick enough. But other than that, he's a big unit, isn't he? How much longer do you think Gomez will stay? And if he does leave, where do you think he'd go? He'll go somewhere in the Champions League without a shadow of a doubt. And I think he'll stay... It's going to sound really negative. I think he'll stay 12 months. Yeah, Josh, that honks, mate. I'm sorry. That's your first really, really outrageous comment there. That is bad. That is bad. Thoughts on John Arias and Jerome game? Completely changed the game. Thought it was brilliant. All the subs were relatively decent, really. I mean, Lima didn't do a hell of a lot, but, all the subs definitely changed things. Yeah, I agree, Neil. Even Sheffield Wednesday aren't getting enough cover. Yeah, spot on, mate. It's all right, though, mate, because Ryan Mason, Danny Royle will be available in about a week when Ryan Mason's sacked. But we can only hope. We can only hope. They had some good players though Sunday. To be fair, yeah, they did. Of course, they did. I mean, most of them have played Champions League football now with Girona last season. So yeah, of course, there's good players in there. I mean, Asprey is a joke. He's played for Watford, obviously. He's exceptional. He's really, really good. Who's better at selling players, Chelsea or Liverpool? I mean, Chelsea have only started doing it recently, and ultimately they've lost money on a few players. I mean, they've lost, 7 or 8 million quid on Dewsbury Hall. I think they've maybe broke even on Joao Felix after add-ons. People forget how many players Chelsea have lost on. Do you know what I mean? People forget how many players Chelsea have lost money on. I mean, Liverpool are potentially going to get £75 million for Darwin Núñez. What, 11 million more than they paid for him? No-brainer, surely. Bentley and Johnston are League One at best. I mean, we all know that Sam Johnston's a stinker, don't we? We all do. Would you swap Gomez for McAllister? No, mate. No chance. No chance. Because Tyler Morton's quality, I told you this in my video the other day, Josh, mate. I told you Tyler Morton's quality. It's because he's only played 79 championship games and not actually played in the Premier League, really, that people don't rate him. But he is top. Tyler Morton is definitely top, and I think he'll absolutely smash it at Leon. Liverpool better selling players, sold us a Duff Hoover. Nah, it's very harsh, man. Sold Burge for 25 million. I don't know how they just got to applaud. I couldn't believe that. Was it Burnley? Yeah, I couldn't believe Burnley paid it for him. Nuts. Michael Kitely, yeah. Mosquera or Doherty? Obviously Mosquera. Right, I'm going to jump off in a second because I have got... I'm quite tired. I've had quite a busy day, if I'm being honest. Been up early this morning. Started my new job today, so I'm, a little bit tired. I have to say. So I probably will jump off in 3 minutes. So if you want any questions, get your questions in. Random one, but did you watch SummerSlam? I did, yes. I did watch SummerSlam, yes, mate. I'm a bit of a nerd, you see. As I briefly mentioned, watched wrestling, watched, I love other films and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, all of that nerdy stuff for me, mate. Don't know who's worse, Burnley or Scott Parker. Scott Parker is worse than Burnley, I'd have to say. Scott Parker is, I'm sure Burnley fans, I mean, to be fair, most Burnley fans I spoke to don't like Scott Parker. I spoke to Jacob Horsfall. I'm sure a lot of you might know him. He's a really good content creator. Spoke to him about Burnley for next season. That video will be up soon. But again, people don't support the videos that aren't Wolves, which I would recommend you watching them if you're not, even if you're not a fan of the clubs, because they're really interesting to hear, what people think about going into next season, really. Another great podcast, mate. Thank you, Neil, mate. Appreciate that. Wolves best 11 of all time. Bloody hell, any of that team from 2018, 19 or 1920, mate. Really, with Steve Bull thrown in there. And Billy Wright, of course. Everyone might laugh now, but do you think Sam Allardyce would have been a good manager? No, Sam Allardyce is absolutely not the case, no. He's a Wolves fan, though, I believe. He's a Wolves fan, actually. A lot of the English players going abroad because they're not getting game time. Yes, they are, yeah. Which quality number 10 would you advise Wolves by? I would have liked Mikhail Tadze as the 10 for Wolves because I know he can play the 9 and the 10, and I think Wolves need a player like that. Same with Adley, but again, neither of them are going to happen. Score prediction against City, I'll go 3-1 City, Brennan, unfortunately. I don't think many people would disagree with that, though. Hey, Pal, just want to say your content covering Wolves over the last few weeks has been great. Been really good to see a somewhat neutral view of Wolves, although you have ties there. Thank you, Carl, mate. That's a really nice comment. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that a hell of a lot. Adama or Neto? Neto, mate. In terms of actual quality, it's Neto. And it's not really that close. But in terms of, as an overall package, Adama's probably more exciting to watch. But yeah, I Adama is a speedboat with no driver. So, but yeah, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you all watching. One last shout out to Josh, who donated $4.99, which is ludicrous in itself. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you all being on. We will be live at some point soon again. I will go live on Twitter and tweet it all out about everywhere. And also start doing posts on YouTube that you'll get notifications for if your notifications are on, of me putting posts out before I go live to basically alert you. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you all being on tonight. Thank you for taking your time out of your night. More importantly, I know a lot of you are very busy with work and stuff to speak to me as well. And I will be live very, very shortly, and there'll be more content every single day. As I say, the upload schedule now will be 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Thank you all for watching this video. If you're watching this video and you're not watching it live and you're just watching it, as a replay, I hope you all enjoyed this video or this live stream, and I'll see you in the next video.